May's descent has temporarily halted, but you will.
Well, if he's just back through the wall scrap, that would be good. I honestly don't remember if we already did that. We also need to find out how to get like $8 to get to sleep. I could try this again. Or can I? No, I can't. We still don't know why that gate's broken. Alright, the body is down. Finally, at long last. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch, which gently laid on one side. Well, it's down. Finally. Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Well, no, he's not, because we are definitely going to use our level up first. Now, what would be the best for this? I feel like... Yeah, I feel like we want more perception, to be honest with you. We're gonna do that. A field autopsy? Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We're on number 3. The fuck are they on about? Cop's gonna cut his shit up. Got it. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. Tell me something, dead man. Shoot, Looney Rooney. I hate you. You stink, and you're boring. Do I remind you of someone? Yeah, myself in the bathroom mirror. That's not even that wrong either. There you go. Look at that bright kid. We're birds of a feather, you and I. Soon you'll be just like me. Just keep drinking and having a good time. It's a matter of weeks. Feeling nausea, vomiting, tenderness, or pain around the liver area? Tiny red lines on the skin above waist level. More like days, Capo. The clock is ticking. Your liver tells you so. Okay, that's not important. Come on, officer, you know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Do you have another pair of gloves? Well, actually, I have gloves on. I have gardening gloves. They're better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. We just fill this in, right? That's right. You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you knew the protocol. Gold star. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. Begins with 1. Assistant. That's you. My name is not Raphael. We're going to leave it empty for now. Coroner's case number. Alright. Name. We've heard a nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down. What's next? Date of birth? Yeah. NA. Age? Roughly 50. I don't know if he's 50. Corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Race? Mondial. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. Sex? Fucky fucky, the little monster exclaims energetically. Male. Pig's gonna have sex. Right, male. Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. Date of death? Still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. Case number is the same as the coroner's case. Evidence of treatment? None, at least not after the initial examination. Strange word, treatment. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over? They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dock workers. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature. Why can't I say words? Hold out from the pre-DeLorean burial rites. Takes him 2 seconds to perform, then... Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Fauerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette ball-like against the window. Outside, Grand Corin. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Torson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide, the other an accident, a small one. And so all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath. We should start the post-mortem. Okay. The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer. Why? Well, external examination seems like a logical place to start. Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Bob Radine, I think. Let's see. See, it's happening. Bob Radine, yes. Inexpensive. Size medium. Color white. The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They're fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. He produces a measuring tape. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters, generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good, ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown, distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness, hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging, the head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity, Kuno. Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max! I don't know about that. They have been some pretty weak throws. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity. In the official report, no less. The lieutenant pays no heed. In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature Mark? Ew. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark. You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. carefully, with as much precision as you can. See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off. No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck. Well, I do have a high chance. Let's just look at it first. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread, rising from the yeast. That didn't really help, but let's just try it. Yay! After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it. The lieutenant kneels closer, running a finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, as it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact. Genitalia. Now it's gonna happen, see? I fucking knew it! This is clearly what they've been waiting for. Ever since the autopsy began, the lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible. Genitalia is male and unremarkable, no evidence of injury. I do still think that we should follow this lead a little. Yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant. Yes. Just write that down, that we request an analysis. Corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genitals and a deathly odor. Gross. Do I really want to? No, I don't. Write it down. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life. In addition, I see smaller residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. This is the body of a soldier. Mercenary. We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item. Hands. Takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Hands are clean, no signs of a recent struggle. Were we expecting any? I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Whoa! He turns to the side to breathe. It's not enough. He buries his face in the sleeve of his jacket. You hear a muffled voice. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Internal. Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system? You don't even have a joke. Nah. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the swollen mouth hole, eyes squinting from the fumes. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see. With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night. Yeah, jack that fucker off. It's so gross. The hyoid bone is fractured, he says after a while. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact, unremarkable. Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Respiratory system. He stops to exert more force, Both hands are used. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth. From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart, hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands. I guess we could look for ourselves, although this is going to be really gross. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly, sweet air unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to empty your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later. The lieutenant lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you. Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Write it down, okay. Hepatobiliary? Nah. Don't we have anything? Are you a hepatobiliary expert? I don't know what that is. No. Same for toxicology and serology. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits lividity in the lower extremities. Feet, hands, and neck. Visually consistent with a hanging. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food and stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Description of injuries. Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields, leave a 4th one too. Alright, bite marks. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. In your opinion, officer? I definitely don't think that the bites were the fatal injury. Post-mortem. Alright, contusions. Scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. Perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem. At maximum velocity, fucko! He's confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes. It's definitely post-mortem. Alright, next. What's the 4th field for? Nothing, just in case. Alright, ligature mark. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck, which would imply that he was not struggling when they hanged him. So yeah, they must have knocked him unconscious. Okay. Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring around his neck is visible. I mean, I don't know if we can say 100% that this was the fatal injury. I'm not 100% sure. So for now, I'm going to say non-fatal post-mortem. He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck. Why do you say that? I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him. Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal? Well, a couple of these. Can't shake the feeling he was doing something else when he died. I'm not usually one to go for these hunches, but I think I agree. I thought we had our cause of death here, officer. Now I think we should leave it empty. At least for the time being. Hell yeah. Another level up. He produces a small black plastic roll from his jacket, a body bag. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Alright. What should we level up now? Well, what's still low? Endurance is kind of low. Hand-eye is low. Get that up. That seems like it could be important. How did it go? It was, in our regular field autopsy, we did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy, but personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was dirigé. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we're lucky. I would not hold my breath. We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy. Oh yeah? Well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order. No. What now? I need a copy of that autopsy form, then I will drive him to Faubourg. Alright, rip out a copy. For processing. He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm definitely gonna do this. What is this one? No, alright, we have to try. Oh, shit. I didn't actually expect that to work. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh. First with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. What is this? His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent. Yeah, I don't know if any of these are a good idea, but I'm just gonna pick one. They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in. You're not far. Alright, alright. Let's try this. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding, hard pearls of bone in the gums, and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing, death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished, no larger than a 0.4 centimeter in radius. The edges appear darkened. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage, wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem. That's a good question. I have the same question, Kunaz. Oh shit, see? Feel around first. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. The funk soul brother at the back of his head has gone dark. Forever. Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet. There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres. The lieutenant answers with the... Okay, that's fine. Fucking cavity, see? Quivering with awe. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him. Do we have to word it that way? It's already wacky enough that we're doing this. No. The things I read. fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrists as you push deeper, till you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush. You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together, your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just... The inside of the head feels cold and smooth like a glove as you pull out, sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, small flower, a blossom made of lead. Oh, really? Well, that was an incredibly flowery and Rube Goldberg-esque description of what seems to be, we found a bullet lodged somewhere in this man's skull. Fucking beautiful. A bullet. The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. The bullet falls into the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says, "Unknown caliber, rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy, fractured on impact. Can I have it?" Of course, you've earned it. I think we actually impressed him. The lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity, temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Just about right. Opinion, fatal injury. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, this seems extremely likely to be what killed him, yes. But that brings up a whole new question then. Why did they hang him? If he was already shot, so he was dead, then the only reason they'd have to hang him would be to make it look like he got hanged as opposed to shot. But why would that be? I agree, Kim. And one last thing, we can now fill in injury number 3, ligament mark. Opinion, non-fatal, post-mortem, treatment. He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact? That's what I said. The ligature mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard, all of it was done after this man was already dead. Yeah, I think you're right. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. Hey, yeah, secret task. Wow, find the bullet before you got fooled. Wow, I feel extra lucky, I guess? There have been other signs too, small things. We are right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them. That's because we're awesome. We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there. Hell yeah. Maybe the bullet holds more answers? Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us. Well, I mean, if we could figure out what kind of gun it came from. He said it was rifled. Does that mean it's from a rifle? Who around here would have one? This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it. Exactly. Who would do this? That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. I think I need to wash myself. Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling and Rag should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. Alright. What happens next? We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my Kanima. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. You'll be gone? I'm gonna have to collect all my cans by myself? Work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. Officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective. Damn, that sounds sincere. The word lingers in the air of the basement. Far away ice cream makers are buzzing and the sea wind blows outside. Detective. After you bag the corpse, Kim will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Interesting. I mean, most of the other stuff that we're dealing with, I'm probably cool to do on my own. Yeah, let's bag them. Alright. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs. Alright. Well then. So now we appear to have found that he was indeed shot. That really changes our perspective on things. Also, you can see that Kim's car is gone. You know what we can inspect, though, is we can inspect this strange stuff that the chef is cooking in here. We can do that. Okay. Yeah, they're still there, but I'll leave them alone for now. Alright, this guy. What's in that borscht you're making there? The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then waits for you to speak. Yes? The man looks at you, then at the soup. His face lightens up. He picks up a bottle from the shelf. Barzks need more vodka? Vodka borscht. I love it, bratan. Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. This place is a powder keg. Cut that out. The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak. Do you know who's behind that door? Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. Or I don't feel like telling you. Leo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true? The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends. Alright, cool. I guess we kinda learned something. We could go talk to Clossia again. Oh, here's the bullet. Let's look at this. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny shriveled head of cauliflower. What do I do with you, bullet? It has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. Yes. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should to learn all you can. Try to learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person who that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim, Neato. Feel it through the bag? Has some sharp edges where the jacket split open. The jacket of the bullet is made of yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark gray core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. Feels standard. And the core? It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his Kanema. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here. Alright. Yeah, you know what? Why don't we just run upstairs and take a bath before we forget? Because that was a pretty gross field autopsy. Despite Kim saying he was going to do the hands-on stuff, that was not exactly what happened. Then maybe we can go talk to Clausia over there again, because I think she still has more to tell us. Was this touchable before? What is this? Empty cassette case. Also, why can't I pick up that one bottle? It drives me insane. Oh, this is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now, yeah, I'd say. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. Yeah, let's take a bath. Undress, close your eyes, and submerge. The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely, and so tired. Yeah, let's get these out of here. Now you're alone with your thoughts in the tub, but it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. They're not even really thoughts, just assorted sensations. None of them are cute enough to focus on. Just linger. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whorls as the water cools. What are you doing? You're not some fat fish in a fucking aquarium. Time to get moving. Imagine something. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. Alright, well that was a great bath. 30 XP for that. New skill point. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin. Ugh, that's like one of my least favorite feelings in the world. Great. What should we invest in now? Like I said, you don't want anything to get too high, but you also don't want anything to be too low. I think keeping everything around like between 4 and 7 is probably fine. Just gonna level up endurance for now. Can I do anything about the expression yet? No. God, it is striking. Alright, well I took a bath, so that's always good. I almost have enough money to pay for my hotel room, so I can keep, you know, being the law. So let's go talk to Clausia again. Wait, did I pick something up? Oh yeah, it's this cassette case. I guess I could sell that. This feels strange to do without Kim here. Except I guess without Kim here, he won't complain if I just like really inspect everything forever. Maybe I can get more information about that door over there. Alright, she's still here. Of course she is. Where else would she be?
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
Oh, I can't. Okay, so I can't talk to her about the deceased without Kim here, but I can do this. Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer, so we can find out what happened. It's one of the first things I remember doing in Elysium. Wow, Elysium. You don't hear that term often. She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording. Did you hear something Sunday night from my room? There was the usual ruckus, loud disco music. Did I have any visitors? I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo. You mentioned loud disco? Oh yes, various artists, ostentatious orchestration prime among them. were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. Yeah, we go on alright. I don't know about that. Around 2 o'clock the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. What happened? A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it. Oh, why do we have this again? Well, let's just show it to her. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church, like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that, and also that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. I'm sorry. Don't be. I was going out later anyway. Didn't bother me. Yeah, I got her all hyped up. Alright, then what? Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed, a tape player probably. The song stopped, and furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming, then I think you passed out. Was there anything else? There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. That was it. Thank you. Getting experience everywhere. Alright, can we check out this door again? No. Alright, so we can't talk to her anymore just right this second, so... Let's see. Let me just check, things we haven't done yet. Trying to remember if I have a decent amount of stuff to sell yet. I got like 50 cents, so like $1.70. It's like 5, 6.20. Oh, okay, so I actually, if I sell all the stuff I can sell, I almost have enough to pay the night. Okay, cool. We could, oh, why can we look at this? We could go back to that bookstore and try to investigate the haunting. I feel like we could do it better without Kim. Because he's not really crazy about that type of stuff. Feels kind of odd running around investigating without him, though. Okay, let's see. Was there anything else left to try to even talk to this
It's
dude
you
about?
again. What is it?
Oh yeah, I can talk to him, right. Me and Everett talked, he promised you cooperate. Also, you went and talked to my mommy and now she's making me play with you? Is that it, Lawman? And what's gonna happen if we don't? You gonna go and tell on us? Let's change the subject. Very mature, guys. Everett sent word, right? Yeah, I heard him. Fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the boss man's word. Let me state this very clearly, Capo. Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys, Hardy boys. How may we assist you? Explosive laughter follows. To his men, Titus Hardy is a golden god. They want to laugh at his jokes even before they leave his lips. This guy is a born leader. I just found a bullet in the hangman's head. A bullet, you say? That's mighty curious. Truly curious. If you hanged him, how did it get there? Well, there are so many bullets in the world and so many heads. That's the weakest shit I've ever heard. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads. Yeah, but then why'd you have to hang them? It's bound to happen again, you know. Just statistically speaking, of course. Okay, alright. I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting. You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet. Around the bullet, man. That's a good one. They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this. I'm gonna ask you again. Why was this in the victim's head? Wow. He got it in the real evidence bag and all. Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened. Alright, alright. Never been worried in my life, lawman. It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there. Alright, let's try this. Convince Titus he's being manipulated. Nah. I don't know what went wrong the last time. Oh, boy. You guys are always telling me they're good and then they aren't. Those are the other guys. My shit is solid gold. You could trust me. No, all those ideas looked awful. Oh, you don't like those arguments? Let's see you come up with your own then. Come on, everyone's waiting. Why is Goldmouth mean to him? Something is wrong. It doesn't look like he's succeeding. I got fucked by some chick. Fucked real bad. Look around, cop. These men are dock workers. They don't want to hear about your psycho circus. I kinda wanted to hear about the circus, boss. Yeah, me too. I'm always up to see a cop cry. These working class oafs don't know how to talk about feelings. You shouldn't have opened up to them. Or anyone. Okay, that's a little extreme. Well, we're getting closer to getting these dudes to be a little more useful to our case, but still a long process. But I think that we should attempt to get to the bottom of that haunted bookstore before we end. Maybe it can make us some money that we can use to pay for our hotel room, too. We might just have to go against this woman's wishes and just go into the back room, though, because if I remember correctly, she wants nothing to do with it. Yeah, she's here, so let's see.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Come on. Hey, wow, damn, I'm lucky today. Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before. Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before. I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out. I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. Sorry for being so blunt, but... Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, alright? You see, it's necessary. No, I admit I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing. How do you know all this? Here we go. I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies. I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. Of course not. Perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? Can't allow any collateral damage to hit us. No problem whatsoever. Your family is safe. Phantoms are no match for me. If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it? On my honor. Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity. Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire. Of course, the entity, for I have sensed its presence. You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. Suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney? Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell. Of course! How did we not think of that already? Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. She gave me the key. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked around. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there. Unbelievable darkness and ruin. First of all, let's equip the flashlight in the other hand. Okay. Now we can finally go back here and see what this is all about. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen. A small, terrified "oh" escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. No sane person would ever put their head into... Well, you never know. Is that David Bowie? Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Merely looking at that unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity. Oh no. Not your fragile masculinity. Alright, what's this about? A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Why, I mean, it would be kind of fun to do, but let's just unlock it. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. You feel the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise up, as if someone's standing right behind you. An uneasy knot forms in the pit of your stomach. I ain't scared. Oh, it's just a gym. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. You mean a punching bag? Ooh, this is worth like... Oh, you know what? I can give this to, those dudes that are outside that I threw their ball by accident. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, ooh. Where's that other thought? There it is. Leather and sweat. Barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of those weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar? Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter? No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory. A memory from another life when you were young and fit. Let's just try it. Nah. I wouldn't be able to. Let's see him try. We're gonna have to heal, I bet. Oh! That looked like he pulled something. That sucks. You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous, your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. Damn. See? This place is cursed. Yeah, I don't know about that. Even your body has failed you. It's a miracle you didn't injure yourself. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the fact that I'm like an ex-alcoholic, like God knows how old man who can't even remember what world I'm from. This place is definitely cursed, guys. Hallway is blocked. Could could do without that noise. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. A large demijohn filled of a strange liquid. Okay. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. What we got over here, eh? Money? Ooh, $3. We're rich. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Gross. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth bitten. Is this Emma's atelier? Oh wait, we did hear something about that at some point. Hey, more money. Heck yeah, maybe we won't have to sell all our belongings to have a place to sleep. What's this? This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. Turn it on. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. This is where the machine's memory should go. So does it not work? Because there's nothing in it. Okay. We need something to put in it, I guess. It's kind of like a tape deck. Project Red. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing is faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Alright, let's just start at the top. These pointy-haired creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all these creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. I mean, we got nothing better to do. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. Is this like a make-believe? The Holder, the Dweorg, the humans, and even a headless man, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all. Alright, what about the photos? The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. Much needed respite from our own world. Alright. A pinned postcard reads, The Heat Death Scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Widar becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Wasn't Wirral like the thing that we saw in the bookstore? What was it? Wasn't it like it was a board game, wasn't it? Hold on. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily mini-me, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. See the production schedule for details. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out, we're all untethered, and heat death of the universe. The full text reads, Heat death of the universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Oh, so it kind of was a role-playing thing. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. I don't think that's actually related to what we're trying to figure out. What's this? This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Oh, it kind of looks like a D&D battle now. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being? The symbols seem very esoteric. What am I looking at? Oh, radio frequencies, it seems. Could this be connected to that lady driver? UKV-1236, UKV-1237, UKV-1239, some written notes too. Unclear. Looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. Was this where what's-her-name was running her thing from? The web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. Wait, who's the Game Master? Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. If it's a game, then who's playing? Whoever decides to call into a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the station suggests people across 6 isolas would be playing. Mundi, Insolinde, Katla, Grad, Samara, and even Limara. All of this gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. What else? Nothing. Just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Okay. So it seems like something big was going on here, but... Developer... Yeah, I think that they were, like, making some sort of, like, phone-based role-playing game system, which is really cool. But apparently it didn't work out, and or this place got hijacked for that other lady to run her little smuggling operation. I don't know. What's that? $2 whole. Heck yeah. Ooh. Is that a... That looks... What's this? The wall collapsed. Okay. Is this, like a furnace? Yeah. Thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like the furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony. Let's look inside it. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness, you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice, or several voices, talking to each other near the smoke chamber upstairs. The echo is so prominent it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying, or what's producing them. What's happening? Maybe it's coming from somewhere upstairs? You should investigate. Maybe you're just hungover again. Could it be psychological, because your physical health is fine? Sounded real, not imagined. Yeah, let's do this one. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then... You've awakened the entity. I summon the ghosts of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There is a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside. Okay, interesting. Seems like it might just be a normal human, but let's see what this is. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. Excuse me. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. Crack open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. It's a pretty sick refrigerator. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. What's the note? Pocket the note and the little fridge magnets. What about the wrappers? Friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge, as usual. Paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Alright, so let's just look at, handwritten note from the fridge. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. Kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Someone has scribbled, S? I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP, it's important. Do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sulislaw. Who wrote that? Yeah, Sulislaw. Someone who owns a radio computer. What's a filament memory? Doesn't specify. Literate ginger kid? Doesn't specify. I mean, I was kind of thinking it might be Kuno. Okay. Where's the frozen ice cream maker? Okay. Alright. Interesting. Anything else to see? Oh, yeah. Oh, an ice cream maker. But we can't interact with it. Oh, wait, what's this? Hidden doorway. Oh, yeah. 2 rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. This is definitely relevant. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in. Inside a secret room. Stick your hand in the hole. Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spider webs rummaging around. You find a number of rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are ugly and inoperable, but a single rifle catches your eye. It's a bolt action with a fine wood stock. Whoops. No, I meant to take that. Antique Belle McGrave rifle. Looks like it's been out of order for years. What does this mean? Well, there was a revolution here. It wouldn't be that odd to find a bunch of guns. But means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around Martinez. This is an interesting coincidence. Could prove useful in some way. You don't know how yet, but it might be useful down the road. This is a good find. Really justifies coming down here and looking around. Alright, cool. Very fruitful so far. There's more busted guns over there. I mean, yeah, that's a little suspect that just that one looks like it's been probably handled more recently. Oh, here's the ice cream maker that's still running. Oh, okay. Alright, alright. We want to get this open, we need the pry bar. Pry bar not strong enough. Whatever. Yeah, I didn't think so. It's a good pry bar, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. Some kind of super pry bar? You have no idea where to get one. Sooner or later, you'll stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Okay. Whatever you say. What's that? Hey, more money and healing items. What do we got here? 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one... Well, if we unplug the black one, then that should start melting, so maybe we can actually get it open. Ooh, cool. Intercom wires. There's some steps. But before we go up, is there anything else to see? Can we go over here? Cellar window. Hey. Some money. Alright. I guess we'll go up here. feels a little more dangerous investigating, like knowing that you don't have... Oh, hey. Wait a minute. So that's what this door was? So, but that lady was saying to go upstairs. Hold on. Alright, let's go. Yeah, let's go back up these steps, I guess. Oh. Oh. Wait, were we up here already once? I don't know. Money. Postcard. Alright, so this is apparently the entity, huh? This looks like a normal person to me. And they got the dice. Yeah, this is definitely some D&D. Candy dispenser that has dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
Novelty dice maker.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You could interrogate her about the lynching.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here.
What do you
Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Well, what do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a milieu is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages.
Helpful skill.
But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about
I'm
dice?
a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Seems like an extremely niche thing to open here. As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring, her bones light, but her hands strong.
How else can I help you then?
She'll answer freely and honestly. Okay. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Didn't know him. Okay. We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific? Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure. There used to be a hair salon, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I guess it just wasn't the time yet. Alright, what about the gym? It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drugs and crime. Maybe that's what Kuno needs. Kuno. Who's Kuno? He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies. Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it will take more than a gym to help that kid. I agree. How did that community project work out? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. You should have known it. Okay, the coalition took away the funding. Alright, other questions. Yeah, tell me about the curse. Yeah, of course you don't think these stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? Heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Yeah, well, we kind of knew this, because didn't we notice it on that intercom? Well, the waitress did just take off at the whirling, but that's not necessarily related. They were built at the same time under the East Delta Commerce Center. Okay. Then there's you. It's true, she has a business. She's 14 years. Okay. No, she's not in cahoots. Yeah, there are many inconsistencies. I was just about to ask, what do you think? The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest. Yeah, no, I really think there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. Ew, no. Maybe I'll come back and get a dye from her at some point. That could be cool. But for now, I guess we should go let Plaisance know that it's not haunted after all. Well, not in the way she thought, anyway. Wait. Is this the right way? Or is it... Oh, no. We gotta, like, cross across here. Right? Man, that place is kind of creepy after all. Alright, well, not only do we have pretty much enough money for the hotel, but we solved multiple little mysteries. Let me just put this flashlight away. Maybe she'll pay us. She's probably not going to believe what we have to tell her.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus. I mean, we could dress it up a little just for her enjoyment. It was a charnel house of failed businesses, enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore. I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Neha, and she's a novelty dice maker. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? She's a businesswoman like you. I understand. Where's the source of the doom? Before you say anything, ask yourself, is this woman really able to withstand the truth? Just don't say you have it. Just say you don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty's killing you. You've come this far, you know how to end it. There is another entity, more malignant, pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels, I'll cross paths with it. A third-order presence, yes. A great dark relief washes over her. I've heard of these tri-actors in certain occult literature that's too dark to dwell on for too long. Definitely not in public. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for descending into the maelstrom. I will keep Ford up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. If you happen upon the third entity in your travels, may the Lord be with you. Okay. Well, that was certainly interesting. And we leveled up again. Let's just, level up Encyclopedia. Cool. So let's just look at this real quick. Why is it a quest to get a reality lowdown from Joyce? I mean, I guess we could go do it. We can also retry a whole bunch of things right now. Some of which I think are just in our inventory, like this ledger. We can try to read these case files again. Oh, okay. Yes, at last. You find a way to piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin, HDB41, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB4112011700, Next World Mural. HBD41, weren't those Officer Precinct? Why yes, your precinct number is 41. And HDB, Harry Dubois. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it, and these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. No. I don't know what to say to that. I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best faculty to have this conversation with, but it's the one you got, so sorry. Yeah, we're staying out of this business for now. HDB is bad news from yesteryear. It's shit, honcho. It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where would you like to start? I don't know if any of this is actually important, but I kind of want to know what the deal is with the square bullet holes. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. That's all you got. From the half hour you've spent piecing it all together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. A sequence killer? Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? I can revisit this. Alright, well that's kind of cool. We'll come back to that. I don't know if that mug had anything else to look at. Was there anything? Oh yeah, we could try to find a loophole in the documents there, but it's not very useful right now. Mug talk is exhausted. Yeah, maybe Kim can help us with the bullet thing. Alright. So, we got a whole bunch of stuff done today. That was a pretty productive session. We solved a bunch of side quests. We did our field autopsy. We made a massive discovery with regards to the cause of death. Essentially, the cause of death was not the hanging. The victim was already dead when they were hanged. Seems that they were shot beforehand. So that's what we're going to investigate tomorrow. And you guys have a wonderful night.